Let's talk about some more traditional approaches to making complex text more accessible for ELL students, and then combine that with some of our more modern tools. If you don't have some of these tools installed on the computer, don't worry about it. There are some previous videos on how to do that. There's also a PowerPoint. So, for example, say we're talking about the amendments to the Constitution. Obviously, we want to use that fairly well-known approach of chunking. That is, just taking a large piece of text and narrowing it on a specific piece of text that you want students to focus on. So, for example, I'll just pull out the First Amendment. When I highlight this, again, I'm assuming that you've installed the IM translator on the computer, or you know that students have that on the computer. If you don't, just back up a little bit and watch the video or the PowerPoint on the IM translator. When I have it highlighted, the little bubble will come up. Just click on the bubble. It automatically translates it for the student. I have it set on Spanish right now. You can set it to any language you want. There's obviously many languages here. We won't get into that too much right now. One of the really nice things about IM Translator, if it's one of the more common languages like Spanish, it usually gives you 3 different translations, which really helps with more complex text and archaic text, just for a student to be able to see it translated in 2-3 different ways. So once I have this translated, if the student's still struggling with it, which they probably will, I'll go and highlight it again. I'll copy it. Then there's a nice program called ReWordify, and they add tools to this constantly. I'll just show some of the basic usages for it. We're going to copy it in, and then we're going to rewordify the text. A really nice feature of this is it replaces the really difficult words with a different phrase or a synonym. And you'll see they highlight the word or words that they've replaced. And then when you hover over it, they give the original word that's been replaced. Excuse me. If you have a short text like this, it's no problem. You can just scroll down and students can directly compare the two. If it's a lot longer, it's really nice to have that feature. Another really nice feature is, obviously, students, especially if they're beginners or intermediates, they're going to have a lot more vocabulary holes. They might not know what, say, forbids means. So any word that's highlightable, you just click on it and it gives a definition. And again, you can double click these words. So there's so many layers of defining to this that students can really focus in on a word if they have to and get the definition. Also, if they highlight the text, if they can't understand that definition, again, you can use the IM translator and it'll give the definition in their own language. So there are several different layers to this you can use.